All right, hey guys, it's Alana with the Sports Center. Today I am going to show you one of my favorite turkey recipes using ground turkey, lean ground turkey, and zucchini and some other herbs. This is my go-to recipe. This is one that I share with lots of people. I didn't invent it or anything. I just found it on the web and I love it. Super simple because everything goes in one bowl. It's a little time consuming because you've got to chop your stuff up, but it's well worth it. The recipe is great. I think your kids would like it. It also has like a tzatziki kind of sauce on the side. I'm not going to show you guys how to make that because that again is self-explanatory. It's just throw everything in a bowl and serve. But I'm going to walk you through the steps of making the burgers and how I have adapted the recipe a little bit to make it a little bit easier and so forth. So lots of good stuff in this recipe. One is the zucchini. Okay, calls for 1 to 2 zucchinis or 1 to 2 cups. Let me grab my recipe over here just to make sure. It says, okay, 2 cups of shredded zucchini. So this is the only time consuming part because you've got to have something that you can shred it with. So like I have this zester thing. I've had it for years. I actually think it was my mom's. Mom, I don't know. Anyhow, I've had this for years. We've also used our food processor because we've got a blade that, you know, shreds. So you've got to find a tool. There's also, this would be forever. No, I'm not even going to show you that because that would take forever. So you've got to have a way to shred your zucchini. Okay. It also calls for green onions. Yeah, green onions. So a little different from scallions. What I've learned, the green onions have the white or purple bulb down here. So this is the part you're going to use for this recipe. Aren't they beautiful? I got this at the farmer's market. I mean, I just love this stuff. It's all edible, but for this recipe, typically this is the garnish part. Like you use this for more garnish, and the onion here, the bulb, you're gonna slice up and use, okay? So, and then it has cilantro and mint. I planted mint last year and it's now coming back. So I was going to use dried mint, but it's come back. So I'm psyched about that. I just walked outside, grabbed my mint, garlic, salt. It's got cayenne pepper in it, cumin. That's it, black pepper. So I better get my black pepper. Black pepper. So super, super simple. So anyhow, you want to start by shredding your zucchini. And again, go ahead, cut your tips off. You don't need those. Make sure they're washed, especially nowadays. So you just get your bowl and you want to shred I'm going to start with the bigger one because it might give me exactly what I need, which is 2 cups. So you're going to shred your zucchini. And I love, like I said, I love this tool. I was raised with it. Oops, I love it. So you're just shredding it right into the bowl, just like this, okay? So the great thing about, well, one of the great things about zucchini is it is mostly water, okay? So very low calorie-wise, and also high in nutrients, obviously, but the moisture from the zucchini helps make your turkey burgers not dry. Okay, a lot of people always say, I make stuff with ground turkey and it's always so dry and I don't like ground turkey. You've got to know how to work with what you got, right? So kind of like tofu. Yeah, tofu by itself is nasty, but what tofu does, it absorbs the flavors that you put into your dish. So it absorbs your soy sauces, your garlics, all of your stuff to make the tofu delish. So like ground turkey, you know, adding, like using ground turkey instead of beef in your tacos, it's gonna take on the flavor of that taco seasoning that you use. So anyways, adding the zucchini keeps your turkey burger moist, okay? So that's one of the secrets here. And again, I do shredded zucchini in breads because the same idea, okay? So like chocolate zucchini bread and stuff like that. Maybe I'll make that. It's been a while since I made that. So anyways, watch your fingers at the end. I'm not even gonna try it. So here's your zucchini, and I just get a brief measuring and just to see. So it's loosely packed. That's 1 cup. Put it to the side, pick up my other one. Great. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Remember, we're cooking, we're not baking. So with baking, it's more of a science. You've got to have more exact measurements and stuff. With cooking, you're fine. You don't have to be exact. I'm gonna take my scraps and I'm gonna put them in my scrap bowl. I'll keep that nearby again. Again, as I've said in other videos, I keep a scrap bowl and then I can feed it to the birds. If you have chickens, give it to your chickens. So you've got your zucchini in here, wicked simple. So you want to go ahead and continue chopping up your things. All goes in one bowl. So let's go ahead and get your garlic. Whoa. Now, also, to save on time, if you have chopped garlic in the fridge, already chopped, and I do as well, you can use that. This calls for 1 garlic clove crushed. Now, I take the thick of my knife right here, take my palm, and I squish it down, okay? So by doing that, it opens it up, and the peel comes right off, and then you have your garlic. Now, when I was raising my kids, especially with my first, he was really sick. I think I've told you all that before. If you've watched my videos, he was really a sick baby. Spent 4 months in the hospital. Anyhow, when we got home, we were pretty much confined to our house because he was so sick. So I watched a lot of cooking shows. And at that time, 18 years ago, Emerald was huge on the cooking shows. And he would show, it was like a real cooking show. He would like talk to you about knife skills, how to cut things, and just everything. It was how I pretty much learned to cook from him and some of the other chefs that no longer are on the shows because they've replaced him with all these cooking competitions. And not that I don't enjoy that, but I really enjoy learning how to prep my food and use the tools. So anyhow, enough about that. You want to dice your garlic up pretty good. Okay, so here it is. That again goes into the bowl. Super simple. Okay, so let's keep going. Cilantro, it calls for 2 tablespoons. So you want to make sure your cilantro is washed. Now, like cilantro and parsley, you don't want to have the stems in there. So just get the leaves off. So my family is Armenian, and it's a big no-no to have stems in things. So like when we cut parsley and all that, you really want to not have the stems. So we've been told to eliminate stems at all if possible. So like when we're making things called each, or I'm trying to think like tabbouleh, a lot of parsley in that, you don't want to have a stem. Big no-no. So you do you. I'm gonna bunch it up. You make like this little packet of goodness. Just squish it all up in there. Put it down. Can you see? Take your knife, preferably the back of the blade, keeping your tip down, and slice. Watch your fingers and just give it a good minced up. Okay, so that the bottom of your knife stays on the surface, stays there. See, so I'm not doing like this. Okay, so you're running that knife, and again, having sharp knives really help. And you can watch your fingers. Gosh, wouldn't that be something if I cut my finger on here? Okay, anyway, so you need to kind of figure out what 2 chops of cilantro look like. If you like a lot of cilantro, add a little bit more. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Just, you know, add, keep adding, bunch it up, get your finger away, and slice away. If you don't like cilantro, I used to make this a lot with my friend Becky. If you don't like cilantro, don't add it. She never wanted it, so we didn't add it, whatever. The burgers were still delish. So anyhow, there you go. Next, we're gonna do our mint. So again, 2 tablespoons of mint. Same idea, grab it off the stem, and then you're gonna chop it up. All right, so anyhow, let's do that. All right, so I've got my herbs cut up. I'm gonna take, it says 3 green onions, thinly sliced. So I don't like a lot of onion, so I'm gonna just do 1. Again, you do what you want. I think I'm just gonna do 1. So here it is, thinly sliced. So I'm gonna cut them this way. I'm gonna peel off the stuff that comes off, thinly sliced. So I'm cutting them like that. And then again, with the back of my knife, keeping my fingers tucked and away, thinly sliced onions. Okay, so getting as close as I can to thinly sliced. Okay, so, and then I just give it a little run through, and I found some skin, tossing that into the pile. Let me do one more. That was really small. I'll do one more. Look at me, getting adventurous. Okay, crushing it. Okay, let's see. I like cooked onions. I don't like raw onions. I want nothing to do with raw onion. In fact, I can't even stand to cut a raw, like an onion. I can't do it. I usually have my husband do it. Okay, so get your onions sliced up. Watch your fingers. Stay focused. Okay, so now I have my onions, my herbs. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. It calls for 1 teaspoon. Okay, if you wanna measure, I was gonna use my hand, but I guess I should measure. 1 teaspoon of salt. Here's my teaspoon. Bring in my bowl back. Teaspoon of salt, okay? Ground pepper. So it's a 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm just gonna fill this teaspoon halfway, obviously. 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. Gives it a little bit of a bite. I love it. So 1/2 teaspoon there. Just whatever. If you like a little bit spicier, add a little bit more. Cumin, oh my gosh, I love some cumin. Teaspoon, look at us. Okay, so a teaspoon of cumin. I love it. Throw it in there, whatever, doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see. That's it. So let me put my my chopped up herbs in here. Get them all in there. Okay, get them off the back of the knife because they like to stay there. Nice. Get this out of here. Don't need this anymore. Okay, well maybe I did because we got to open this. So, boom. All right, ground turkey. Okay, here it is. Wicked simple. Throw it in here. Now, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Your hands are your best tools, okay? So if this freaks you out, you don't like it, whatever, use a spoon. But right now, all hands on deck. Here we go, all right? So we're just gonna mix it up. Make sure all your stuff is incorporated in here. So all your flavors. Oh my gosh, I wish you could smell it. Okay, well you will because you're gonna make it. Oh my gosh, it smells so, so good. I love these. I can't wait to eat these, especially because I've been eating a lot of chicken and eggs. So this is like a treat to me. Oh my gosh, I know I keep sniffing, but it's so good. Okay, so anyways, that's nice and mixed up. All right, so we're back, we're ready. Our turkey mixture is all set. So this is a part that you may all choose to skip, but for me, it's important, as I've stated, I'm getting ready to do a competition in June, so I need to be real specific with my food. So I weigh out my burgers. So I try to stay around 4 ounces of meat. So and that's a pretty plentiful bit. So making your patties, okay? Just make your patty, place it right there. Just portion out your patties how you want, whatever you want. You gotta feed your family, right? Or whoever the heck you're cooking for. So just make your patties and set them aside. And we'll go ahead and do that and then come back to cooking them. All right, so we're back. I've got my burgers measured out. I got 6 of them. So I don't know about you, but I got 6 and they're roughly 4 ounces a burger. So yum. I'm using some avocado oil. Okay, real simple. I'm just gonna get my pan. What is helpful to me, and this is the part that I've kind of adapted, is I use a skillet that can then go into the oven. I like to get them nice and brown on each side, but finish them in the oven. This is just a method I do. So you can certainly cook them all the way through on your stovetop, that's fine. But I like to go ahead and finish them off in the oven. Sometimes I'll do that with my steak too. I'll sear it, finish it off in the oven when we can't barbecue. So I've got some oil that's covering the pan. You want that to get really hot, okay? The burgers have so much moisture in them, you want them to set. So you're gonna put them on here and let it really crisp up on one side, flip it gently on the other. And then we'll put them in the oven. So let's get this to warm up a bit. Okay, so one way you can make sure that this is nice and ready is if you have a little bit of water, you sprinkle a little bit, tiny bit up from your finger, like wet your fingers with the water, sprinkle it onto your skillet with the oil, and you'll see it's ready. It will kind of bubble at you. Don't do a lot because you'll create a craziness. So take your burger, okay? Get your burger there, round it off nicely. You'll hear it sizzle, press it down a little bit. Okay, get those burgers on there. You want to hear that sizzle. That means your pan was plenty hot. So get each one down. I'm just going to use my whole hand. Again, love my hands. Here we go. Just get in there. Okay. They smell delicious. I know I've said that thousands of times. Okay, let them sit there and be happy. Let them sit. Okay, so I've got these here on the pan. They're doing their job, kind of getting nice and crisp on the bottom. I am checking them, and they may stick. If they stick, it's my glass. They may stick. So anyhow, you want to check them. They have to be kind of brown and crispy on the bottom, not burnt, but enough that it's held together so you can flip them. All right, guys, so my burgers are sitting here getting nice and brown on the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and flip them very gently because they are very moist, so you want to be very careful. They might fall apart, and that's okay. I had to take my glasses off because they were fogging up. All right, so get them turned. They should be a little bit brown on the bottom. Again, they might stick. That's okay. All right. Woo. See, one just fell apart. They're very moist, and so you just push them back together. Just make them pretty. Okay. All right, guys, so at this point, the other side is browning. They're gonna get a little bit more cooked on either side. You want them to be nice and brown. They're not gonna cook in the center. That's why we're gonna throw them into the oven to finish the job. So I throw them back into the oven for about 15 minutes. I check them to see if they're done along the way. Everybody's oven sometimes is a little bit different, so check it, but you definitely want them to be cooked through. You're dealing with ground turkey, just like poultry. You need to be, I think, 170 degrees or more. So you want them to be cooked all the way through, and you'll know. I mean, it will be raw. So be smart when you're cooking. And yeah, anyhow, so let's throw them in the oven. All right, guys, so they're out of the oven. They look delicious. They're perfectly cooked, about 12 to 15 minutes, okay? Keep in mind, if you're gonna reheat them, like if you're gonna use them for meal prep, 12 minutes is probably fine because you're gonna put them in the microwave and finish off that cooking process. If it's even, it's not gonna be undercooked. 12 minutes, they're perfectly fine. In my oven, 350, 12 minutes, they're great. They look really good. They're super moist. I'm cutting into one right now, and it looks delicious. I know it's delicious because I make them all the time. So anyways, like I said, there is a like a tzatziki cream, like sour cream sauce that goes with this recipe. So when you download or print the recipe, you'll see that. Really easy, really refreshing. I suggest that you make it if you can eat that sort of thing. I typically serve this with the sweet potato for myself, some green beans. Great meal. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Post a picture if you've made them. Let me know what else you'd like to see me do. All right, thanks guys.